Okay, children. So, good evening, everybody. So, can you hear me? Can you see the board properly? You can reply on the chat. Okay, perfect. So, for students who attended the previous classes, probably might know me. So, for the new students who joined today, like my name is Kevin, and I'm currently working as an engineer. So, on weekends, I do extra tuition classes for students with my previous experience so far. Okay, so this class is focused on 2021 O level. So, but here, like I have combined both grade 10 lessons and grade 11 lessons together. So, so that like I know like many students did not get the chance to complete grade 10 lessons, or some students might have completed but forgot or need to revise or something. So because of this reason, I'm covering, I mean, I have categorized lessons into several sets. So I will go in the order of grade 11 lessons. But meanwhile, all the lessons relating to this lesson from grade 10, I will be also covering in, together with the grade 11 lessons. Okay, so today I have selected the next set of lessons. If you went through the tutorial, you might have already seen. So fractions, ratios, and percentages. Fractions, ratios, and percentages. So this is your grade 10 first lesson, right? So I mean in the first three lessons, right? Okay, so then you had ratios. So ratios, under ratios you had these proportion, inverse proportion, direct proportion. So those things fall under ratios. In grade 11 you don't have any other lessons in addition to this. So fractions and ratios done, you are already done in grade 10. But for percentages in grade 10 you had the lesson percentages lesson. So in grade 11 also you have another percentage lesson plus share market. So all these three lessons are related to percentages. So here in grade 10 you learned those normal interest like interest rates, those things, right? Simple interest. Then in grade 11 you will come across what you call reducing balance and compound interest. So these two concepts, very small, like nothing difficult. So these two concepts you will come. So those are the only two new things that will add in grade 11. Okay. But here, why am I doing all these three lessons together? They are in the same family. So fraction means fraction, right? So like 2/8, something like this, a fraction. Then a ratio means the same thing, 2/8, you can write it as a 2:8, right? So again, same concept, but in a different phase. They're having a different phase. Then again, percentage. So percentage, you can find what you call 2/8, you can write as a percentage, like something like 25% or something, right? So 25% or whatever, right? So these are like different ways of representing. All right. So without going, all right. So first let's go through fractions. So this will be kind of a quick revision. So fractions. What is a fraction? From in the word itself, the meaning is there, right? Fracture. If you break this into two parts or three parts, or if you make a fracture, that one part is called a fraction. Like for example, let's say you have a pizza, the common example, right? Everyone takes it. And you cut this pizza into, let's say, 8 pieces, right? 8 pieces. So one piece, right? We call it a 8. Why? Why 8? Because we have 8 pieces, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we call it a what? It's an 8. So this is an 8. One piece is called a 8. So if you take 2 pieces, what do you call? If you take 2 pieces of 8, we call it 2 eighths, right? I mean, you have one apple like this, you have another apple like this. So what do you call? This is one apple, this is another apple, we call it two apples. So in the same way, we have 1/8 here, we have another 8 here, so we call it 2/8. So how do we represent 2/8? That is 2/8. So this means 2/8. 2/8, that means two of them, right? So this is the very basic explanation for a fraction. So if you have 3 of them, we call it 3/8. All right. Same way, if you have like 5 of them, we call it 5/8. Or okay, so that is like the basic idea about fractions. So this is very important. You must understand very clearly. So same way, if you have like a bar, right? A bar. So in this bar, I cut this bar into 3 pieces. So this is called a third, right? This is called a third. So normally we call it 1/3, but still we can call it a third. So if you take 2 pieces of them, if you take 2 chunks, we call it what? We have 2 of them, 2 of them, right? So we call it 2/3. 2/3, right? 2/3. 1/8. 3/8. So same way, we can represent. Okay, so that is about fractions. If you have any question, you can send on the chat. So I have not allowed to unmute, but still you can send. If you have any question, any type of question, you can ask me through the chat. Okay. So that is about fractions. So we have the one of the concept you learn in grade 11 is what is a proper fraction? Proper fraction. These questions, I mean, this theory part, you will not be questioned directly, not at all important for the exam. But when solving, when going through our journey, like when solving questions, you need to understand what are proper fractions, what are improper, how to do simplification. So these things are very important. So if you have the basic understanding, then going through the rest of the part is very easy. That means like when building a building, I mean, when building some tall buildings or skyscrapers, the most important thing is making the foundation. So they take like months to do the foundation. Then to build up, it don't take that much time. So same way here, if you have the base, if your base is very much clear, then going forward will be very much easy. So proper fraction. Any fraction where the denominator is smaller than the numerator. Any fraction where the denominator is smaller, numerator is smaller than the denominator. So you know this is the numerator, this is the denominator. So if denominator is smaller than the numerator, we call them proper fractions, right? So the guy above should be smaller than the guy that is lying below. Okay, so nothing complex. Then next concept, unit fraction. Unit fraction. If the numerator is 1, we call it a numerator. If the numerator is 1, we call it a unit fraction. So 1/8 is a unit fraction, or 1/5 is a unit fraction, or 1/4 or whatever. So all these are unit fractions. The numerator is 1. So that means like you cut into certain pieces and you take one piece. So that one piece represents a unit fraction. Okay. Then how to check which fraction is larger? So next time, checking larger fraction. Checking larger fraction. Okay. So here, when checking which one is the larger fraction, if the denominator is same, then we don't have any problem, right? Like for example, we have 4/8 and we have 1/8 and we have 3/8, right? So that means basically you can take any example, like you can take a pizza, right? Same example. So you cut the pizza into 8. So you take 4 pieces, you take 1 piece, or you take 3 pieces. Now it's obvious, right? Which one is larger? So here I have 1/8 we have here, we have 3 of them, and here we have 4 of them, right? So obviously this one is the smallest, this one is the next, and this one is the largest, right? So you can write the order if you want. Three 8, and then we have 4 8, right? So that is only if the denominators are same. So let me write it here. So if the denominators are same, there's no problem. It will go with the numerator. You have to just check the numerator, right? So if the denominator is same, you have to just check the numerator. So 1 3 4, normal numbering order, 1 3 4. All right. Next, what if the denominators are different? What if the denominators are different? If the denominators are different, what to do? All right. So we have this concept of equivalent fractions, right? Equivalent fractions. Like you take a pizza. So let's say like this. You have 2 pizzas. You have 2 pizzas, okay? One is same size, same size pizza, exactly identical pizza. All right. So this pizza is yours. Let's say my pizza, and this is my friend's pizza. All right. So in that case, I cut my pizza into 8 pieces. I cut my pizza into 8 pieces, and my friend cut it into 4 pieces. Only 4 pieces, right? Cut into 4. I eat 2 pieces of this, right? I eat 2 of them. So that means, so this is an 8. So this is an 8. This is another 8. So I'm going to eat 2 8 of the pizza, right? Because I ate 2 8s, right? This is 1 8. This is 1 8. So I ate 2 8s of the pizza. My friend just eat one piece of the pizza, but this is not going to be an 8, right? This is going to be a 4th, right? Because I have cut the pizza only into 4 pieces. So it is going to be a 4th. So my friend ate 4th. Then what can you tell about the quantity eaten by who ate more, me or my friend? So if you check at the diagram, you can see this is what I ate and this is what my friend ate, right? So if you see, we both ate the same amount of pizza, right? So in that case, we can say both these fractions are same. Both these fractions are same, right? Even if I say 2 8 or if I say 1/4, that represents the same amount. So for such fractions, we call, even though the numbers are different, they represent the same amount. So this pizza 1/4 means I cut this pizza into 4 pieces and I take 1. Here, I cut it into 8 pieces and I take 2. So anyhow, even though the numbers are different, it represents the same amount. So for this type of fractions, we call equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions. Okay. So let me give another example. So you know how to find mathematically equivalent fractions, right? So let's say we have a bar like this, right? So in this bar, I cut it into 4 pieces, right? So then let me shade. Let's see, I eat this much of let's say it's the chocolate, okay? So in this chocolate, I eat 1 piece. So which means it is going to be 1/4, right? It is going to be 1/4. It is going to be 1/4, right? Then I am going to divide the entire chocolate bar again into 2. Entire chocolate bar I am going to divide into 2. So that means I'm going to draw a line like this. So I'm going to cut the chocolate like this. The entire chocolate, what I ate and what I did not eat, the entire chocolate I will cut into 2, right? So now you can check how many similar pieces are there. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 similar pieces are there, right? So out of that 8 pieces, I ate how many pieces? 1, 2 pieces, right? 2 pieces. So look, but I mean, I did not eat any extra pieces. It was same. So basically these two are equivalent fractions. So how to find equivalent fractions mathematically? So if you want to find mathematically, you know, we have 1/4. You will multiply, you can multiply the denominator and the numerator by the same number, right? So if you multiply the denominator by 2, you can multiply the numerator by 2, right? So you can divide or multiply. Addition, subtraction, you cannot do. You can multiply the denominator and the numerator by the same number. In that case, you will not get, I mean, you will get an equivalent fraction. So you will get 2, 1 times 2 is 2, 4 times 2 is 8. So you get 2/8. So 2/8 means same as 1/4, right? Here also we saw that, right? In the diagram also we saw it is the same. So 2/8 means again same value. So to find equivalent fractions, you know, what we have to do is we can either multiply or divide, right? If you want, you can divide this again, right? You can divide this by 2. So if you divide this by 2, what happens? Divide this by 2. So what happened? 2 divided by 2 is 1 and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So a fraction, if you want to find an equivalent fraction, you can always multiply top and bottom with the same number, right? So that is how you find equivalent fractions. Okay, coming back to our lesson. So keep in mind, multiply, you have to do the same thing to the top and bottom every time, right? If you do something to the bottom, you have to do the same thing to the above. If not, your answer will be go wrong. Okay, so now, what if I have something like this? Let's say I have half and I have 2/3 and I have 1/5. So if I'm supposed to find which one is larger, I need to find the LCM, lowest common multiple. Lowest common multiple. Yeah, we have to find the lowest common multiple to find out which one is the largest, right? So you know how to find LCM, right? So I think the LCM for this one is 30, right? So I mean, you can make 30 from 2, you can make 30 from 3, you can make 30 from 5. I'm not going to tell you if anyone wants to understand how to find LCM, you can send me a message, but I assume you know how to find the LCM. So here, LCM is 30. So in that case, so in that case, what can you do? You can write, make a 30, right? How from 2, how to make a 30? You can multiply by 15. You can multiply by 15. 2 over 3, you can multiply by, again, how to make a 30 from here? 10 multiplied by 10. And 1 over 5, you can multiply by 6. You can multiply by 6. So you get 15 over 30. You will get 20 over 30. And you will get 6 over 30. Okay. Okay. So here you can see. So here you can see half means 15 over 30, 2/3 means 20 over 30, and 1/4, 1/5 means 6 over 30. So now we have the same denominator, you know, we can find which one is larger. So basically, this is the smallest, 6 over 30, and then we have 15 over 30, and then we have 20 over 30. Okay, so that's about how to find which one is larger when the denominators are different. Okay. Then let us quick. So you can write it down. Write down these points. This is just a summary. I'm going through a like quick review from the grade 10 lesson. Okay, so this is a quick like summary. So let's going quickly reviewing, going through the grade 10 lesson. So then we can discuss some questions. Okay, then next part, addition, subtraction of fractions. So if you want to add or subtract fractions, you have to again make the same denominator. So if the denominators are different, you cannot add. Like for example, if you have 1/2 and 1/3, right? So you know you cannot add these two fractions. Why? The denominators are different. So when the denominators are different, you can never add them. So you have to make the denominator same. So how to make the denominator same? You can multiply. You can make the denominator 6, right? From 2, you can make a 6. From 3, you can make a 6. So in that case, you can multiply this by 3, this by 3, this by 2, this by 2. Why we are doing so? To make the denominator same. So in that case, what would I get? So 1 times 3 is 3/6 plus 1 times 2 is 2/6, which I get 5/6. Subtraction is also same. So same concept. And for multiplication, it does not matter. For multiplication, you will multiply the numerators separately and the denominators separately. So like for example, if you have multiplication, you can write half into let's say 5/9. So you will multiply the numerators separately, 5 and 2 times 9, 18. So yeah. Okay, then also if there is something called if there is something like off, right? If there's something like off, that means let's say we in a box we have like 3 balls, right? So two of these boxes means you will simply multiply by 2, right? 2 of these boxes. So same way, if there's like you have 10,000 rupees. If you have 10,000 rupees, half of this means half of what? Half of 10,000. So half of 10,000 means you will just simply multiply half by 10,000, right? So we have 2 in the denominator. That means it's a division, right? So 10,000 divided by 2 means 5,000. So whenever there is a off, what you do, you just simply multiply. Okay, so let's discuss some questions. So then we can talk about this. So in the tutorial, question number 1. Let's try question number 1 in the tutorial. So I think you can see the screen. Also, I have shared the tutorial before. So question number 1. Let's try question number 1 and send me the answer on the chat. Okay, we have one answer. Okay, other students also give a try and send me the answer on the chat once you're done. Okay, yeah, very good. So let's go through the first question. What do you have? Tilini donated 3/10 of money from a lottery to her school library and 4/7 of the remaining money to an elderly home in her area. Okay, so first question. Tilly donated 3/10 of money from a lottery to her school library. So to the library, she gave how much? 3/10, right? 3/10, yeah. She gave 3/10 of what? Of the total, right? Of the total. Always remember, like when you're writing the data, write of what, right? If not, it will be, it might cause silly mistakes. Then we have 4/7 of the remaining amount to an elderly home. So elderly home, how much? 4/7. 4/7 of what? Of what? Of the remaining, right? Of the remaining. So not the difference. This is of the total and this is of the remaining. What fraction of the total money was donated to the elderly home? What fraction of the money was donated to the elderly home? So first, we know, like for elderly home, what fraction did they give? 4/7 of remaining. So first of all, we need to find what is this remaining, right? So let's first find what is the remaining. So remaining is equal to what? The total. The total means always 1, right? So the total is 1 minus how much she gave. Gave 3/10 to the library. So we have to subtract this, right? So from 1 you subtract 3/10. So if you write the steps, so 1 means what? 10/10, right? 10 over 10 means 1 minus 3 over 10. So same denominator. So 10 minus 3 is 7 over 10. So this is the remaining. So if you want to find how much she gave to the elderly home, how much she gave to the elderly home, you can say 4/7 of 7/10. So of you can substitute with multiplication. So I already told you, if it is of, you can substitute with multiplication. 7/10, right? Then cancelling off. So cancelling off means if there is a number at the top and the bottom and there's multiplication in between, you can divide the same number by the top and bottom by the same number. That means 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. So here also you got something common, right? 4 divided by 2 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So at the top, what do you have? At the top, you have 2 times 1, that is 2. Divide by, at the bottom, you have 1 times 5, which is 5. So this is the answer to the first question, first part. Second part. What fraction of the lottery money received was totally donated? So what fraction? So now she donated 3/10 of the total to the library, and here we found she donated 2/5 of the total to the elderly home, right? Not 4/7. This is 4/7 of remaining. So when we multiply it with this one, we get the total. So we have to consider this and this. Okay. So you can write total donated. Total donated is equal to what? 3/10, that is of total, plus 2/5, right? So you have different denominators, you cannot add, so you have to make a common denominator. So in that case, I will write 3/10 plus, here you have to multiply by 2, so 2 times 2, 4, 5 times 2, 10. And then I get 7/10. So this is the total she donated to the, library and the elderly home. Okay. Yeah. Then third question. If the money donated was 80,000 more than the money remaining, find the total money she received from the lottery. Find the total money she received from the lottery. Okay. We have received several answers. So question number 3. Part 3. If the money donated was 80,000, if the money donated was 80,000 more than the money remaining. So it was what? Money donated was equal to 80,000 more than the remaining. 80,000 more than the remaining. Okay. Find the total money she received from the lottery. Find the total money she received from the. So let we'll take. Let the total amount. Let the total amount received equal to X. Okay. So that means I am going to assume the total amount received is X, right? So if I can find the value of X, I'm done, right? So X, if it is X, what is the total amount donated? So donated is going to be 7/10, right? Already found the total fraction. The fraction of amount that is donated 7. Seven-tenth of X is equal to 80,000 plus the remaining. The remaining means what? The remaining is what? The remaining is, if you donated 7/10, the remaining is going to be 3/10, right? The remaining is going to be 3/10. Why? You donated 7/10 and the remaining is going to be this much, right? Then what do I have? 7x over 10 is equal to 80,000 plus 3x over 10. 3x over 10. Now you can do the simplification. So you can take this to the other side of the equal sign, right? So it is a plus. When you take it to the other side, it becomes a minus. So you can write 7x over 10 minus 3x over 10 is equal to 80,000, right? Is equal to 80,000. Then you can do the simplification and find x, right? So what do I get? 7 minus 3, I get 4x over 10. So let me erase this part. So from here, if I go, 7 minus 3 is going to give me 4x. So 4x over 10 is equal to 80,000. So here I can simplify, right? It is going to be 2/5. So it is going to be x is equal to 80,000 multiplied by 5, which is equal to 0, 0, 0, 0, and 40. So this is the amount she received from the lottery. and you can move on to the next question. Question number 2. Oh, sorry, I missed the 2 here, right? So it is going to be divide by 2. I'm sorry. So it is going to be 200,000 only. Sorry, 200. Why you put X here? Yeah, I put X here because it would be easy for me to find, right? I mean, if you have any other method, there's no problem. I mean, you can separately find this thing, and you can use any method you want. I mean, as long as you get the correct answer at the end, it is okay. So I believe like finding X is much clear, right? Because this is the total amount from this. So any method you want, you can follow Shashini and Hazika. Can you repeat it? Okay, so I hope here what I did was, let me quickly explain it again. So what I did was, let the total amount received as X, right? So it is given in the question, the amount donated, amount she donated is 80,000 more than the remaining. 80,000 more than the remaining. So that's why I built this equation, right? 80,000 more than the amount donated. Then let the I took let the total amount received is equal to X. So why did I take X? Because question is asking me to find the total amount received. So maybe I can put an X over there, right? And find what is X, right? So then I don't have to think anything about the question. If I can find X, that is my answer. At the beginning itself, if I know if I can find what is X, then I know my answer. All right. So that's why I put an X over here. Okay. Then what happened? Donated amount. So already I had this equation. So donated amount, right? So donated amount, the total donated. So what was the total amount that was donated? In the previous second part, we found she donated 7/10 of the total, right? To the library and the elders' home, she donated 7/10. So 7/10 of what? The total amount. So that is why I wrote here 7/10 of X. 7/10 of X was the donated amount, is equal to 80,000, which is again 80,000 and remaining. So if she donated 7/10, that means she got some money. She divided that money into 10 bags. She just put those into 10 bags, right? Because I have like pizza. I cut the pizza into 8. So this money I put it into 10 bags. And 7 I gave to the elderly home. Then how much remaining? 3 is remaining, right? I mean, I gave 7 to the elderly home and the library, then 3 bags are remaining. So that is why I took 3/10, right? So 7/10 given to the elderly home and library, and there's a 3/10 remaining. So from that, I built that equation. Then use basic simplification. So 7/10 of X means 7/10 multiplied by X. So this 8,000 and 3X over 10, 3X over 10. Then I took this to the other side, this entire thing to the other side, right? This is just an addition. So this one plus this one, right? So just addition. So you can take it to the other side or subtract 3x over 10 from both sides. Then I get this one. Then here I have the same denominator. So if I have the same denominator, I can simplify 7x minus 3x. So 7x minus 3x is 4x. So here I have 4x. So here I have 4x over 10. Here I have 4x over 10. So from that, when you simplify, you can take 10 to the other side and 4 to the denominator. Then you can find what is x. So you can multiply both sides by 10 and divide both sides by x, 4. Then you get this answer. Board is blurred. I think it might be because my signal strength is very strong. I can see because I have another screen here. So in that screen, I can see the board very clearly. So maybe there's a problem in your signal. So that is why the board is a little bit blurred. So please check because here in my screen, I have another screen. So in that screen, I can see the board very clearly. Okay, question number 2 about Peter. Okay, we're getting some answers. 512, 360. Yep, okay. Five 12, okay. Yeah, all right. We're getting answers. All right. So Peter had a small library. So Peter had a small library. Let me erase it. So Peter had a small library. 1/6 of the books in the library were children's books. Okay, so write down the data. So make it a practice. No matter whether it's an easy question, difficult question, like first step should be writing the data. So again, because if you write the data, you don't have to read the question again and again, right? I mean, it is already readily available. So Peter had a small library. That is not important to us. 1/6 of the books in the library were children's books. So children books was 1/6, right? 1/6 of total. Then 1/4 were science books. Science were 1/4. Science were 1/4. Peter donated these children's story books and science books to the school village. Okay, so he donated children's books and the science books uh, to the village. Find what fraction of the total number of books were donated. So what fraction of total number of books were donated? Easy. You simply have, so he donated 1/6 and also he donated 1/4, right? So simply the addition. Why? Because he donated both children's books and the science books. So in your exam, I mean, generally the fraction question is coming on structured essay, right? So that means paper 1, part B, most probably question 1. Every time it is question 1. So they will never ask you to find this one and this one. Like they will not give something like this and find the answer. But instead, they are going to give a word problem, right? So then in that case, you should be able to identify what operation we have to do. Okay. So here we can see, we can take the common denominator, right? So to get the common denominator, what 12, right? 12 is the common denominator. So you can multiply by 2, multiply by 2, multiply by 3, multiply by 3, right? So what do I get? So I have 1 times 2 is 1 over 12 plus, sorry, 2 over 12, right? 2 over 12 plus 3 over 12. So which is 5 over 12. Second part. How can we get the questions? I have sent the questions in the group. The tutorial I have sent in the group. Okay, so let me share the screen. Okay, so I think you can see now. You can ping the screen. So question number 2. The number of books donated was 150. Find the total number of books that were originally in the library. So basically, 5/12 of the books in the library were donated. So now they say the total number of books that were donated is 150. So the fraction also we know, and we know the number of books that were donated. So that means, what is the fraction? So 5/12 of the books of, let's say, total, right? Let's say total, 5/12 of total is equal to what? 150, right? 5/12 of the total is 150. So 1/12 is going to be what? 1/12 of total is going to be, if 5/12 is 150, 1/12 is obviously going to be 150 divided by 5, right? That is going to be 30. So 1/12 is 30, but they are not asking for 1/12 from us. They are asking for the total number of books. So total number of books means 12/12, right? I mean 12/12 or the total. 12/12 or the total is equal to what? 12/12 or the total is going to be what? 30 into 12, isn't it? 30 into 12. 30 into 12. So that is going to give me 12 times 0 is 0. 12 times 3 is 36. 360 books. Or else, if you can use, here also you can use the X thing, right? I mean, second method. Second method may be like this. If method 2, if total books is equal to X, if the total number of books is equal to X, what will happen? 5/12 of X is equal to 150, right? So that means 5/12 into X is going to be 150. So X is going to be what? 150 into 12 divided by 5, cross multiplication, right? Then what do you get? You should get the same answer. You should get the same answer. What are the timetable you do math classes for 2021 oil? Okay, so this is, I mean, this is the 2021 oil class. So these questions I'm discussing, these are like past paper questions, right? So this is like every Sunday at 7, what we are having is 2021 oil class. Okay, this is content from grade 10 only, I know, but still I'm discussing this because very important for your final exam. So this one question from your final exam, from your level exam, right? So yeah. Until what time class? Class is till 9 o'clock. Yeah. So for all the students, so because many students are asking details, so here our class will be every Sunday at 7 p.m. Okay. So if you want to join the class, you can drop me a message on WhatsApp, 078-594-2154. Or I hope you already have my WhatsApp number. Or you can drop me a message on this WhatsApp number. And like today is a free trial class, but our class is not a free class. It is we charge a small charge from you, which is 800 rupees. So rupees 800 per class. So today is just a trial class for all of you. So if you want to join the class, you can drop me a message. I can send you the details about the payment details. I can send to you. So then you can make the payments and send me. Then you will be registered and you can join the weekly classes. So class will be every Sunday at 7 p.m. Okay, that is question number 2. Question number 3. Find what fraction of total number of books were originally in the library was given to, of the remaining books, Peter gave 60 to the neighbor. Okay. So of the original books, he gave 60 to the neighbor. So that is the third part. He gave 60 to the neighbor. Okay. Then what happened? Find what fraction of the total number of books that were originally in the library was given to the neighbor. So what fraction was given to the neighbor? So simply, you know, what 60 was given to the neighbor and total number of books we had is 360. So it is going to be simplified. Divide top and bottom by 10. So this 0 to this 0 cancel off. So for 6, there is 1 6. For 36, there is going to be 6, right? So top and bottom, you divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 36 divided by 6 is, I told you, like you can divide, like simplify the fractions. The class will be 7 to 9. Okay, number 4. After giving to the neighbor, Peter sold 3/5 of the remaining books. After giving to the neighbor, okay, he sold this much of books. Find what fraction of the total number of books that were originally in the library was sold. Okay, so what's the answer to that question? Okay, some students are sending numbers, I mean number of books, but the question is asking for the fraction. So after giving to the neighbor, Peter sold 3/5 of the remaining books. So after giving to the neighbor, so he gave to the neighbor 1/6, right? 1/6 of the books. So after giving to the neighbor, he sold, I mean, he, number 4. So remaining after giving to the neighbor, remaining after giving to the neighbor was what? 5/6, right? 5/6 was remaining, right? So of that remaining, he sold 3/5 of the remaining books. So 3/5 he sold. So what is that? Remaining after giving to the book. So he sold. How much did he sell? He sold. Yeah, 3/5. So he solved 3/5 of 5/6, right? So that means simply multiplication. So 3/5 multiplied by 5/6. So we get 3/6, which is half. So he solved half of the remaining books. Okay, so question number 3 is about, okay, question number 3, you can do it yourself. And now let's go to fractions. Oh, sorry, ratios. Okay. Okay. So what are ratios? So for example, under ratios, so ratios, like, I mean, if you see something like this, 6:7, or like when making what you call when making cement mixture, they say mix like sand to let's say what, cement to water or something, like in the ratio 1:3, right? So that means if you put 1 kilogram, or like one, what you call, like I don't know the English word for that. So like one, let's say 1 kilogram. So if you put 1 kilogram here, you take 3 kilograms here to the of cement, right? So that means 1:3, right? If it is 2, this is going to be again 3 times. If this is 2, this is going to be 6, right? So any ratio can be expressed as a fraction. So 1:3 means 1/3. Any ratio you can express as a fraction. So under ratios, you learned 2 concepts: direct proportional and indirect proportional. So what is direct proportional and indirect proportional? So here, this is very important to understand what is direct proportional and indirect proportional. So for example, you know what this thing, right? You know this, right? F equal to ma, right? Newton law. In physics you learn. So here you can see, like what, like I'm going to push, I'm going to give a force on a vehicle, right? I'm going to push it. Okay. So if I so when I give a push, there is a mass which is a constant. Mass is not going to change. But here I have acceleration. So when I increase the force that I'm exerting on the vehicle, what will happen to the acceleration? Acceleration also will increase, right? Why? I am giving more force. That means, like for example, I'm like pushing a car very hardly, so it will increase its velocity quickly, right? If I give a small push like this, it is going to increase the velocity very slowly, right? So that means when I increase the force, the acceleration is also increasing, right? So when the force is increasing, the acceleration is also increasing. So in such cases, what do we say? We say the force is directly proportional to acceleration. The force is directly proportional to acceleration. So this is the symbol we are using. Okay, yeah. So this is called direct proportionality. Okay, so directly proportional. So this is directly proportional, right? Then if there's direct, there's another term. Opposite of this one is called inversely proportional. Inversely proportional, right? So so we'll take the same example, force and mass, right? Force and F equal to ma. So in F equal to ma, I am not, let's say, I am not going to change the force, right? The force is same force I am going to exert. I'm going to exert the same force, right? So, but I have two objects, like a car, let's say, I have a car and I have a lorry, right? So the weight of the mass of the car is obviously less than the mass of the lorry, right? So if I exert the same force, when the mass is high, what will happen to the acceleration? When the mass is increasing, the acceleration will decrease, right? I mean, if the mass is very high, it is very difficult to increase the acceleration, right? Under the same force, I'm going to exert the same force on both of them. So that means I have a car, and I have it's very big lorry. It's like a house, I don't know. So I have a lorry, right? So I exert the same force on both of them. So, but since the mass is less, the acceleration is going to be very high. Since the mass is high, since the mass is high, the acceleration is very less, right? So then we call, when one quantity is increasing, the other quantity is decreasing. So in such scenarios, what do we call them? We call them inversely proportional. How to write it? So if two quantities are inversely proportional, we have the same symbol. The symbol is not going to change. The symbol is same, but we write it, force is proportional, force is constant, it's not going to change. The mass is proportional to 1 over A. 1 over A. So that means they are inversely proportional. So this is direct proportional and this is inversely proportional. Okay. So let's take an example. So this is the two concepts. I mean, at the beginning of the question, it is very important to identify whether it is direct proportion or indirect proportion. So that is very important. You have to identify clearly which case this falls under, right? So I'm going to teach you like easy method. So yeah. So, but for that you have to clearly identify which method is going to be used. Okay. So let's write this question example. It takes let's say it takes 5 men 8 days. It takes 5 men 8 days to complete a task. It takes 5 men 8 days to complete a task. So my question is, what is the number of days? What is the number of days required by, let's say, 10 men? Let's 10 men to complete the same task. Easy question. To complete the same task. So there are two methods of doing this. So you can follow any method and find the answer. Okay, we are receiving several answers. Yeah. Okay. So my first method 1. So under method 1, I'm going to write, I mean, something like a table, right? I'm going to like write the details under 2 columns, let's say. So number of men and number of days. Number of men and number of days. So initial case, 5 men needed how many days? 8 days. 5 men needed 8 days. Then in the second scenario, 10 men need how many days? I don't know. I will put X here, right? So 10 men, X days, right? So now let me identify whether this is direct proportion or indirect proportion. So what happened? There's the same thing, right? I mean, same work. So when the number of people increase, I mean, I have to paint a house, right? So 5 men can finish the work in 10 days. What if like another friends of mine came? So in that case, the work will be faster, right? So that means when the number of men increase, the number of days will decrease, all right? Number of days will decrease. Number of days will decrease. Okay, so in that case, what will happen? So now this is inverse proportion, right? I'm sure this is inverse proportion. Why? Because when this is increasing, this other quantity is decreasing. Or when the number of men decreases, number of days is increasing. So this is inversely proportional. So if it is inversely proportional, you can write the ratio. So how to write the ratio? First thing, I'm going to write 5:10. 5:10 is equal to, and here because it is inversely proportional, I wrote 5 first and 10 second, right? 5:10. Then in the second scenario, I'm going to write the one at the bottom first and one at the top on the second place. So I'm going to change it. So it is going to be X:8. X:8. So after you write this one, there's nothing. It is going to be simple. So that is going to be, so you can express this as a fraction. So 5:10 means 5/10 is equal to X:10, 8 means X/8. Now you can do cross multiplication. So X is equal to 5/10 multiplied by 8. So what will be the answer? 1, 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4 days. 4 days. So that is the first method, right? So that is the first method. Second method, method 2. So method 2, here we can identify what is the magnitude of the work, right? How much big the work is, right? There will be the work is constant, right? I mean the work is not changing, right? So in that case, I can find the magnitude of the work. So what is the magnitude of the work? So you can write magnitude of the work is equal to what? 5 men multiplied by 10 days, sorry, 8 days. 8 days. So which is equal to 40 man days. So 40 man days, man into days, right? 40 man days. So this is the magnitude of the work. Then we have man here, we have days here. We have to find the number of days required by 10 men, right? So in that case, so you can write the statement here. The number of days required by 10 men is equal to what? 40 man days. So this is the work. 40 man days divided by 10 men. 10 men, right? 10, I will just write man. So man to man cancel off. So it is going to be 4 days, right? So any method you can use. I think this method is much more convenient. Any method you can use. Yeah, okay. So yeah, so let's do a question. Okay, let's do question number 5. Let's do question number 5. This question. Sumit, plans about Sumit. Oh, should I disable annotations? Okay, let's do this question and send me the answer. Can you explain inverse proportion more? Yeah, no problem. Like we will be doing several questions on inverse proportion, so it will be helpful, I guess. So let's discuss through questions. Are you keeping on-site classes? Yeah, I do have classes in Candid, but the thing is, because of the corona, currently we only have online cases, online classes. Okay, we got one answer. One by 12. Are they asking find the custom duty? Okay, Nisma, they are asking for the prices. I mean the custom duty values, right? It should be in rupees. Yeah, this is a like important question. I'll give you some more time. So my hint is always try to convert the ratios into, I mean, either fractions or known terms, right? So substitute it with something and like try to bring it. I mean, when it is in ratio form, like I personally find it like a little bit confusing. So that's why I just turn it into fraction form. So I just put an X here and I just found it in fraction form. So you also can do the same thing. Still only one answer. Okay, what is this? Okay, so let's go through. So Sumit plans to import two products, A and B, from China. Okay, so we have A, we have B, right? So always try to plot it in a table form. So Sumit plans to import two products, A and B, from China. The ratio between the prices of A and B, including custom duty, is 3:2. So price including custom, let's say custom. Okay, so price, you know what is custom duty, right? Whenever you bring something from abroad, they are going to charge you a tax, right? So whenever, that's what, like, you have duty free, so in the duty free they don't have this custom duty. So whenever we import something from another country, they will put a tax on it, so that is called custom duty. So the ratio is going to be, including custom duty, is going to be 3:2. 3:2, right? 3:2. The okay, then the ratios between the custom duties A and B is 5:11. The ratio between custom duties, the ratio between custom duties is going to be how much? How much? How much? How much? How much? How much? 5:11. 5:11. 5:11. Okay. If the price of A without duty is 25,000, price of A without B, without price of A without duty is equal to 25,000, right? 25,000, and that of B is rupees 9,000. So price of B without duty is equal to 9,000. Sorry, 9,000. Okay, right? Find the custom duty of A and B respectively. So now we know the price of A without duty is 25,000. Price of B without duty is 9,000. Then we know the ratio between the prices, including custom duty, is 3:2, and custom duties is 5:11. Okay. So as I told, let's bring this into our what you call, in like, let's get rid of the ratios. So how to get rid of ratios? So let's use X for that, right? Price including custom. So let's say price of A. So I write let price of A is equal to what? Let price of A is equal to 3x. Why did I take 3x? I could have taken x, right? Yes, you can take x, no problem. You will see why I took 3x. So if the price of A is 3x, price of B is going to be what? 3:2. So that is going to be 2x. So do you see why I took price of A as 3x? Because it is 3:2, right? So if this is 3x, obviously the price of B is going to be 2x. I think it is clear, right? So if you took price of A as x, then what will happen? You will get a fraction here. It will be x divided by 2x divided by 3, right? So to avoid that one only, I just took 3x. Then it is easy for me to do the calculation. So here, since this is 3, I took 3x. So if the price of A is 3x, since their ratios is 3:2, the price of B is going to be 2x. I hope it is clear up to here. So listen carefully, this is very important. Then So now I know, let's think I know the price of A and price of B, price of A and price of B. Then duties, this one also let's convert into our real world scenario. So let's say let custom duty of A is equal to Y. Sorry, I take 5Y, right? Let custom duty of A is equal to 5Y. 5Y. Then custom duty of B is going to be what? Custom duty of B is equal to what? 11Y, right? 5Y and 11Y. So again, I think it is clear. So it is again, why did I take 5Y? I could have taken Y. Yes, I could have taken Y. Then in that case, I will get a fraction to the other term. So to avoid that one only, I took 5Y. So if it is 5Y, this is going to be 11, right? I mean, if it is 50, it is going to be 110, right? So if it is something like 10, it is going to be double of this, 22. So ratio means ratio. So 5Y means 11Y, right? So now I don't have to think about the ratios. I can simply erase it. I mean, if I want, I can erase it fully. So I know the price of A without duty is 25,000. Price of B without duty is this much. Price of A is this much. Price of B is this much. Custom duty of A is this much. Custom duty of B is this much, right? Now it is simple, right? I mean, anyone can do that now. So I know the price of A. This is with duty, okay? So I took like including custom, the final price. So let me write it like with duty. With duty, with duty, right? Because I took this ratio, right? So what can I say? I can say price of A is 3x minus custom duty of A is 5y is going to be equal to what? Price of A is 3x, custom duty is 5y. So from the final price of A, you are going to remove the custom duty. So when you remove the custom duty, what is remaining? That is price of A without duty, isn't it? So that is going to be 25,000. Equation 1, right? Is it clear? Okay, so what did I do so far? So in the question, it is given price including custom duty is 3:2. Custom duties is in the ratio 5:11. And also it is given in the question price of A without duty, price of A without duty, that means without tax. This duty means tax. So price of A without tax is 25,000. Price of B without tax is 99,000. Sorry, 9,000. Okay. Then I know the final cost, I mean price including tax is in 3:2 ratio. So I assumed price of A with tax is 3x. Then price of B with tax will be 2x. Why? They are in the ratio 3:2. Okay, I kept it aside. Then custom duty is in the ratio 5:11. So I again assume custom duty of A is 5y. So if the custom duty is 5y, custom duty of B is going to be 11y because they are in the ratio 5:11. 5:11, 5 and 11, right? 5y and 5:11, right? Then what did I do here? Here, price of A means the final price of A. Final price of A. So final price of A was 3x. I remove the custom duty, which is 5y. So 3x minus 5y means price of A with duty minus the duty. So price of A with duty or price of A with tax minus tax. Price of A with tax minus tax. So price of A with tax minus tax is going to give me this thing, right? Price of A without, I mean duty means tax. Price of A without tax, 25,000. So that is how I build this equation. So can I use this one also to build the equation? So how to do that? Price of B without duty. So I know the price of B with duty, which is 2. Marcus is doing. Okay, so let me write. So it's going to be 2x, right? So price of B with duty is 2x, and then the duty is 11y, right? 11y. So price of B with duty is 2x. Price of B without duty, I mean the duty is, the tax is 11y. So when you subtract, what do you get? This, right? 9,000. So we have two equations, simultaneous equations. I think you can solve it. So you know how to solve simultaneous equations. So here we have 3x, here we have 2x. Maybe we can remove the x's first. So how to remove x? So let me multiply 1 multiplied by 2. Equation 1 multiplied by equation 2. What do I get? 6x minus 10y. 6x minus 10y is equal to what? 50,000. Sorry, 50,000. I simply multiply the equation 1 by 2. I will name it equation 3. Then I will multiply equation 2 by how much? I need to make this a 6, multiply it by 3. So what do I get? 6x minus 33y. 33y is equal to what? 9 times 3 is 27, right? So 27,000. 27,000. Equation 4. So you can subtract equation 4 by equation 3 and find the answer. Okay, so can you send a photo of the board? Couldn't see this. Actually, can you take a photo and put in the group? Okay, will be sent in the official group. I'll take a photo and send in the official group. Okay, and there's a question, is this grade 11 work? So do you see anything that is not related to grade 10? Any theory part that is not related to grade 11? I mean, almost everything is you learned, right? I mean, there's nothing new, no new theory. This is like, this is, like this is worst case scenario. So, I mean, generally in your exam, you will not, I mean, they can give this type of questions. So these questions actually in your syllabus, but the maximum, highest level that, or the hardest level that you can get questions, you can get from the ratios. So if you can understand this, you are good to go with ratios, the proportional thing. Okay, write it down. Very important question. Simultaneous equations, you should solve it. And if you solve, when you solve it, you should get the answer. What is the answer? I think 10,000 and 1,000. 10,000 and 1,000. Okay, let me do it. So write it down quickly. I will erase the board in a while. So I don't know where to erase. I will erase this part. Okay. So hope everyone understood. If anyone want more explanation, tell me before I erase. Unix learning questions are really tricky. Okay, I don't know whether it's a compliment or a complaint. Yeah, like if you can do tricky questions means you understand the theory properly, right? So okay, so let's solve this quickly. Simultaneous equations. I hope you can remember. So I have 6x and this thing, right? So I subtract equation 3 minus equation 4. So 6x minus 6x cancel off, minus 10y minus 33y. That means minus 10y plus 33y, right? Minus 10y plus 33y is going to be equal to 50,000 minus 27,000, which is going to be 23,000, isn't it? 23,000. Okay. Yeah, there's some problem with the bandwidth. Okay, so anyways, you should get the answer. I hope it will be okay soon. So till that, let me write the answer and other students can try the next question. So question number 6, you can try. There's some problem with the bandwidth. Yes, it is true. I don't know, signal problem. Okay, so 33 minus 10, again I get 23y. 23y is equal to 23,000. So y is equal to what? 1,000. Y is equal to 1,000. So y is equal to 1,000. So in the question they are asking, find the custom duty of A and B. So find the custom duty of A and B. So custom duty of A, what is the, oh, I erased it, right? So custom duty of A is 5y. So if you can check, if you wrote it down, you can remember custom duty of A was equal to 5y. So custom duty of A was equal to 5y. So 5y, right? Because I took it as 5y. I did not take it as y. I took it as 5y. So that is why custom duty of A is 5y. Then it is going to be how much? 5,000 rupees. Custom duty of A is going to be 5,000 rupees. Then custom duty of B is going to be 11y, right? I took as 11y. So that is going to be 11y. So y is 1,000. So that is going to be rupees 11,000. Done. You don't need to find x. 5,000 and 11,000. Yeah, I know it's not clear. There's some problem with the signal. So I think I have explained the critical part. So here just simplify and find what is y. Then you just substitute this thing, right? Can you please check the signal router? There's some problem with the signal. Okay, let's try question number 6. If 8 eggs cost 120, find the cost of dozen of eggs. So you know dozen means 12, right? So dozen means 12. So Easy question. So after a difficult question, you have an easy question. Question number 6. Question number 6 in the tutorial. Okay, you guys try question number 6 and question.
Yeah, give me a second. Like there's some technical problem with the connection. Give me like 2 minutes. Till that, you can try question number 6 and question number 7. Question number 7 is kind of difficult, so you can try that. It's kind of a different question. Question number 7. Okay.
Yeah, sorry for that. Like there was a like signal error, so I just changed the router. So I think now it's clear. Okay, so yeah, let's do. I hope it's clear, right? So here what I did was I found y. Then the custom duty of y I took as 5y and 11y. So I just substituted 5 times 1000 is 5000 and 11 times 1000 is 11,000. So I don't have to find x, y because I already found y. So the question they are asking for y only, right? the custom duty. Okay. Next question is easy, right? Question number 6. 8 eggs cost 120. Find the cost of dozen of eggs. So that means, again, I will use the same method. I will stick to my method. Number of eggs, cost, or the price. So 8 eggs cost how much? 8 eggs cost 120. 8 eggs cost 120. Then they're asking the price of dozen. So dozen means 12. Price, I don't know. I just put X. Okay. So what do I get? Is this direct proportion or indirect proportion? Is this direct proportion or indirect proportion? When the number of eggs increase, the cost is also going to be, the price is also, the total cost is also going to be increased, right? I mean, 5 eggs are 10 rupees, 20 eggs are obviously going to be more than that, right? So that means when this one is increasing, this is also increasing. So which means it is direct proportion, So first step is identifying whether it is direct proportion or indirect proportion. So since this is direct proportion, what can you write? You will write 8:12 is equal to, you are not going to swap them. It will be, you will write as it is. You wrote this first, so you have write this first. Why? Because of direct proportion. 120 is to X. Now you can write it as a fraction. So 8/12 is equal to 120 over X. So you will take X over there, and you will take 120 into 12 over 8. Indeed. So you should get 180 as the answer. 180 rupees is okay. So here, what is the thing you have to learn? Always like, I mean, if you're using this method, so if you want, you can also like find the cost of 1 egg. I mean, 8 eggs means 120. Then how much is 1 egg? So from that, you can find the price of 12 eggs. No problem, no harm in doing that method. You can do that method also. So, I mean, if you want, 8 eggs means how much? 120 rupees. So 1 egg is how much? 120 divided by 8. So 12 eggs means how much? 12 eggs means 120 over 8 into 12, right? Same answer. Okay, next question. Important question. Yeah, next question is kind of important. So let me share the screen. Okay, so what do we have? A certain, oh, no, not this question, the frame question. It's okay. Question number 7. A certain task was given to a group of 4 men. Okay, so I think I can erase this, right? Easy question. So I just wanted to do the train question. It's okay. Question number 7. A certain task was given to a group of 4 men, and they were able to finish 2/3 of the work by. Okay. Yeah. So a certain task was given to a group of 4 men. They were able to finish 2/3 of the work by working for 6 hours a day for 3 days. Okay. So again, write down the details. Certain work was given to a group of 4 men. So is the number of men important? So 4 men, a group of, they were able to finish 2/3 of the work by working 6 hours a day. Okay, so here maybe we will have to write 3 columns, right? So number of men, number of hours, and amount of work. Or here I will write like this, right? Number of men hours. Okay, so 3/4 of work. 3/4 of work. So to finish 3/4 of work, so a certain task was given to some men of 4 men. So this will be 4 men. Then they were able to finish 2/3. Sorry, 2/3 of the work. So it is going to be 2/3 of the work. 2/3 of the work by working 6 hours a day for 3 days. 6 hours a day for 3 days. 6 hours a day for 3 days, isn't it? 6 times 3, right? 6 hours in one day, and they work for 3 days, right? By working 6 hours a day for 3 days. What is the magnitude of the work done by man hours? So now they are asking man hours. So now here we cannot use our like that ratio method, right? Because they are directly asking for man hours. So what is the man hours? So what is the magnitude of the man work in man hours? So 3/4 of the work, sorry, 2/3 of the work, we can write magnitude of 2/3 of the work, not the entire work, not the total work, but 2/3 of the work is going to be what? 4 men or man, let's say man, into how many hours? 6 into 3 hours, right? 6 into, so they're asking man days, isn't it? Yeah, so they're asking what is the magnitude of the work in man hours? Sorry, man hours. So 6 into 3 into hours. Okay, so what do we have? 6 this multiplication, right? So you have 4 times 6 is 24 times 3, 24 times 3 man hours, 24 times 3 man hours. So that is the magnitude of 2/3 of work. So this is 2/3 of the work, but we are supposed to find the entire work, right? Entire work. So 2/3 of the work, then let's find 1/3 of the work. 1/3 of work is equal to what? 224 into 3 into half, right? This entire thing divided by 2, right? Because 2/3 is this much. If you want, you can find the answer also. No problem. Let's find the answer. So it is going to be 4 times 3 is 12, 1 remaining, 3 times 2, 3, 6 plus 1, 72 man hours, right? But it's always better you leave it like this. It will be helpful to cancel off and things. So 72, right? So here I can write if you want 72, right? So 2/3 of the work means 72 man hours. Then 1/3 of the work means 72 divided by 2. Then the entire work or the 3/3 entire work, or what is that? 3/3 is going to be what? 72 over 2 multiplied by 3. What is that? You can find the answer. So that is going to be how much? 36 multiplied by 3. That is going to be how much? 6 times 3, 18. 1 remaining. 3 times 3, 3 plus 1, 10. 108. Is it correct? Yeah, 72 man hours, right? Because 4 men, and here we had 6 times 3. Why? The entire work, the full work, right? Why? Here we had how much? 6 hours a day into 3 days, right? So altogether they have worked how many hours? 18 hours, right? So 18 hours into 4 men. So 4 men work for 18 hours. So we got this answer. So now you can try the second part. So second part is telling the foreman decided to complete the work on the next day. How many hours would they need to achieve this? How many hours would they? Yeah. So what is the remaining work? So remaining work is 1/3 of the entire work, right? So remaining work is this much, right? So you can write second part. Remaining work is going to be this value, right? 36 man hours. 36 man hours. Because they have already completed 2/3 of the work. So remaining is 1/3 of the work. So 1/3 of the work is 36 man hours, right? So in that case, how many hours do they need? So they have 4 men. So number of hours required. Hours required is equal to 36 man hours. 36 man hours divided by how many men do they have? How many men? So I'll just write man here. So 4 men. So they have 4 men. So man to man cancel off. So what do we have? 36 divided by 4, which is 9 hours. So they will need 9 hours more to complete the work. Okay, question number. Wait. Yeah, question number 8. Important question. Kind of a difficult question. Not difficult. If you get the concept, it is very easy. So you guys already, I mean, this is content from grade 11, sorry, grade 10. So since you are revising the concept, so let's do some difficult questions, right? It will make no harm. So let's try some difficult questions, different questions at least. So question number 8. If you found the answer, send it to me now. How many seconds did it take? The train question. Question number 8. Let's see if anyone find the answer. I'll give you 3 minutes. Send me the answer. Hurry up. I'm waiting for one answer. Okay, 1 more minute. We erase this. I hope you wrote it down. So I don't think today we will be starting the percentages. So next week we will be starting the percentages and also the share market. So because today it's already 9, so let's discuss a couple of more questions and finish the session. So next week we can start percentage, and I mean percentages are not that difficult. So the most important thing is in the grade 11 content, you have compound interest and reducing balance concept. So these two are the most important thing. So fractions and ratios. Ratios are important, simultaneous equation questions, and also structured essay. But this percentages question will come together in part 2. Paper 2 also you will get one question in paper 2 part B. Yes, part B you will get one question from percentages. So most of the time it contains compound interest question or reducing balance concept. So these two are, and also share market, right? So it can contain any of these, like all together, like fractions, ratios, percentages, they are like same family as I told you. So altogether, like look how many questions we have. From in structured essay we have 2 questions, and in paper 2 also we have one full essay type question, and also in part A 25 questions you have a few more questions. So this family of lessons is also very important. Okay, quickly go through the question. So what do they say? Find the time taken by a train of length 100 meters. So this is kind of a different question. So we have a train of length 100 meters, length 100 meters, length 100 meters, right? Then traveling at a speed of 48 kilometers per hour, traveling at a speed of 48 kilometers per hour, at a speed of 48 kilometers per hour. Okay, then they are asking find the time taken by a train of length 100 meters traveling at a speed of 48 kilometers per hour to pass a man traveling at 8 kilometers per hour. So there is a man traveling 8 kilometers per hour at a speed of 8 kilometers per hour. And in the same direction, they are traveling in the same direction. Okay, so they are asking the time taken to pass. So basically time taken to pass, if this man, assume this man was not walking. If this man was not walking, that means the time taken by the train to move 100 meters, right? So I mean, if the man was not walking, the train, and when the train has already passed him, the train will be in this position. But the problem here is the man is also moving. The man is also moving. So that is the problem we have. So think different, right? So let's say the man, when the train is passing, the man was here. The man was here, right? So man was here. So if the man was here, I mean, when the train is moving forward, the man is also moving forward, right? So at some point, the train would have passed the man. So at that point, the train will be in this position. The train will be in this position. The train will be in this position. So let's think about, we'll take this front point of the train, right? So this is the distance moved by the train, right? So the train, this point has moved from here to here, right? So that is the total distance moved by the train. So they are asking, what do they ask? The time taken, right? So the time taken. So what is the time taken? So let's take the time taken as t, right? So let me write, let the time taken is equal to t, right? So if the time taken to pass the man is t, what is the distance traveled by the man? What is the distance traveled by the man? I mean, the train will go like this go, right? So at that, when the train has already passed, the man, what is the distance traveled by the man? So if the time taken is t, the distance traveled by the man is going to be 8t, right? That is under rates. In grade 10 you have rates lesson, right? So under that lesson you learn this velocity, the relationship between velocity and the time, right? So the velocity multiplied by time will give the distance, right? So if the time taken by the train to pass the man is t, what is the distance traveled by that man during that time? It is going to be 8t, isn't it? So this distance is going to be 8t. This distance is going to be 8t. Is it clear? If any problem, ask it now. This is going to be 8t. If anyone doesn't understand why this is 8t, ask it, tell me now. If not, I will go further. Okay. So this distance is 8t. We already know what is this distance. Is going to be 100 meters, right? So this 100 meters, look, this is in kilometers per hour. This is in kilometers per hour. This one also let me write in kilometers. So I write 0.1 kilometers. So this thing is also going to be 0.1 kilometers. 100 meters mean 0.1 kilometers, right? Oh, because it should be in same units. So now look, what is the total distance traveled by the train? The total distance traveled by the train is 8t plus 0.1, right? 8t plus 0.1. So here to here it is 8t, here to here it is 0.1. So that is the total distance traveled by the train when the train has already passed the man. If any questions, ask it now. Okay. So let's draw a table. So let's say train. Distance, time, right? Distance, time. So the time taken by the train to travel 1 kilometer, the time taken by the train to travel 1 kilometer is how much? Oh, sorry. 48 kilometers. The time taken by the train to travel 48 kilometers is going to be 1 hour, right? Why? The speed of the train is 48 kilometers per hour. That means to travel 48 kilometers, the train took 1 hour. The train took 1 hour. Okay. Then we need to find the relationship between this distance and the time taken, right? So the time taken by train to travel, so in t hours, right? So that is the time taken by the train to pass the man. So the time taken by the train to pass the man. So during t hours, what is the distance traveled by the train? So that is going to be 8t plus 0.1, isn't it? 8t plus 0.1. That is the total distance traveled by the train. 8t plus 0.1. Okay. So now tell me, is it direct proportion or indirect proportion? When the distance increase, the time increase, right? I mean, when the distance is increasing, the time taken to travel is also going to be increased, right? I mean, for 48 kilometers, it takes for 1 hour. For 100 kilometers, it takes more time, right? So when the time is increasing, when the distance is increasing, the time is also increasing. So that means they are directly proportional. So if they are directly proportional, how should I write them? 48 is to 8t plus 0.1 is equal to 1 is to t, right? This one is to this one is equal to this one is to this one. So I'm not going to interchange it. I'm not going to interchange. Why? They are directly proportional, not indirectly proportional. So what should I write? 48 over 8t plus 0.1 is equal to 1 over t. Cross multiplication, 48t is equal to 8t plus 0.1. So you take it to the other side. So you have 40t is equal to 0.1. So t is equal to 0.1 over 40 hours. This is hours. So let's turn the answer into seconds. So that is going to be 0.1 over 40 multiplied by 60 minutes into 60 seconds. So this one to this one cancel off. So here we have 2, 2, so 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, so 3 times 3, 9. T into 0.1 is 9 seconds. So the time taken by the train to pass the man is 9 seconds. Kind of a different question, but I hope you understood it. It can also help your physics understanding. I mean, this is how you solve. I mean, you know, mathematics is the language of all other sciences. So this is how you solve physics question without your equations in physics. So here, I mean, this is entirely about physics, right? I mean, this is a physics question, but we did not use any equation you learned in physics, but we use mathematics knowledge to find the answer. Write it down, important question. And one last question, question number 9. Write it down and find the answer to question number 9 and tell me what is the answer. And students who wish to join our classes, drop me a WhatsApp message on this number. Five 942-154. WhatsApp message on this number if you wish to join our classes. Till that, yeah, you can try the question number. Which one? 9. Yeah, question number 9. Quickly, last question. Okay, I did not get any questions about this. I don't know whether you understood or you did not understand, because there are 2 scenarios where you don't get any questions. One is you understand it properly, and the second scenario is you don't understand it at all. So I don't know here what is it. Yes. Okay, anyways, question number 9. If you have any questions, you can ask. Any question. And guys, also during this pandemic, I mean, all the classes are going to be online, right? Unless you have any teacher who is coming to your home and teaching you. I mean, individual classes, unless you have any individual classes, most of the classes are going to be online, at least for 6 months, right? It doesn't have to be my class. I mean, any class, it is going to be online, right? So you guys have to be like self-disciplined, right? Because the teacher cannot test you. The teacher cannot check you, like what you do, right? So whenever the teacher, I mean, I'm not talking about me, any class, any teacher, anything, right? So when the teacher asks you to do something, you have to do it yourself, right? So you have to be self-disciplined. So I mean, in most of the countries this is happening, but in Sri Lanka, I don't know, like it is very, 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 very behind. But like today, nowadays, in most of the countries, they are practicing like self-education, right? The students are given the higher place to decide what they learn and decide how they learn. So this is like giving priority to student voice. So here also we are going, I mean, the teacher can only do is like do some examples, tell you the theory, but doing more questions, I mean, you won't get any punishments or anything, right? Like those days, like kneeling down or whatever. If you don't do the homework, you will be sent out of the class or whatever, like a lot of things, right? But now you will not get this chance. So you guys have to be self-disciplined if you want, right? Because today, like O level is nothing. Like if you pass O level, if you get 9 A's for O level, still you will not, trust me, you will not have a job, right? I mean, today the competition is very, very, very high. So O level exam is also one of the easiest exam. So if you cannot, I mean, I told like if you get 9 A's for O level, you will not have job, right? So what if you fail O level? Should I tell about that, right? So please be self-disciplined, and whenever there's some work, do the work. And yeah, you should be your own tutor. So you have to be your own teacher. So yeah, so still I did not get an answer to question number 9. Okay, so let me erase this. I hope you wrote down. Okay, we have 17 days. Sorry, I have, by mistake, I have disabled the chat. Sorry, it was my mistake. Yeah, that's what I was looking like. I did not get any questions from the last question. Sorry for that. I'm really sorry for that. I did not notice that. I was also looking like I did not get any messages. Why is that? Okay, anyways. Question number 9. 6,000 soldiers in a camp have food for 30 days. So 6,000 soldiers. So let's write again our table format. Soldiers, 6,000 soldiers and number of food, right? Or days, isn't it? Days, right? Yeah, 6,000 soldiers in a camp have food for 30 days. 6,000 soldiers in a camp have food for 30 days. 6,000 soldiers have food for 30 days. Okay. Then, after 10 days, another 1,000 soldiers joined the camp. So here, at the beginning, right? So we don't care what happened at the beginning. So after 20 days, what happened? This is another story for me. This is the first story. This is the beginning of the story. Then after they're talking about the second phase of the story is after 10 days. So after 10 days, how many days are remaining? 20 days are remaining. So for 20 days, how many soldiers are there? I have 6,000 soldiers. So this is before the new soldiers join. New soldiers join. Just before the new soldiers join, right? So we had 20 days, 6,000 soldiers, we had 20 days, right? Then after the new soldiers join, what happened? The number of soldiers increased, right? So 1,000 soldiers joined. That means number of soldiers became 7,000. Number of soldiers became 7,000. Then what happened to number of days? We don't know, just put X. Now, our next step is finding whether this is direct proportion or indirect proportion. So direct proportion or indirect proportion, how to find? So when the number of soldiers increase, what happened to the number of days that the food will remain? So we have some food. So we have 4 people at our home. Now it is quarantine season. So we have bought some food. The food is finishing. So we can survive for 20 days. Okay. So then somehow the relations, someone else, some more people came to our home due to some emergency or whatever. So in that case, our food is going to finish soon, right? So that means when the number of people is increasing, the number of days is going to be decreasing. The food is going to finish soon. So that is, so therefore this is obviously indirect proportion. So in case of indirect proportion, how do you write? 6,000 is to 7,000 is equal to, you are going to swap them and write x is to 20, right? So 6, 1, this one is to this one is equal to this one is to this one. You're just going to swap them and write. So that is going to be 1. 6,000 over 7,000 is equal to x over 20. You can take 20 to the other side. Then what do you have? This one to this one cancel. 6 over 7 into 20. Okay, so okay, I think let's make it 21, right? I mean, since it is not multiplying, I think I wanted to tell like this is 9 days. So here instead of 10 days, I will make it 9. Okay. So here let's make it 9 for calculation. So simplification, easiness, I will make this 9. So if I make it 9, what happens? This will be 21. Okay. Don't get confused. That is going to be 21. Then what happens? This will be 21 and this will be 21. So what will be? With 3, it is going to be 18 days. 18 days. So they can survive for 18 days. So ask if the 1,000 new soldiers joined, what happened? They can survive for 18 days. Okay. So if you put 20, you might have get like a fractional answer. I was thinking, I mean, when I was writing the question, I was thinking to put 9 only, but somehow I just put 10. I don't know why. Okay. So this is the answer if the number of days is 9. Okay. Okay, then. So you have a couple of more questions, question 9 and question 10. You can do it by yourself. And if you have any questions, you can ask me, right? Via WhatsApp. I mean, I'm always available on WhatsApp. And also, if you haven't joined our group, you can join our group. So we have this daily quizzes. So you can do the daily quizzes and send me. You will get them checked. And also, I will be sharing the answers. So, I mean, the daily quizzes, the main idea of daily quizzes is making you guys that, I mean, it doesn't have to be difficult question. It doesn't have to be easy questions. Like some days I put difficult questions, some days I put easy questions. So anyways, the main idea is to keep you guys on track with the past lessons. Okay, so I am also not putting, for the daily quizzes, I have not included the future, I mean, upcoming lessons in grade 11. I am only including the past lessons. So therefore, you guys can do those questions and like just send those questions to me. I will correct it and also you'll get the answers. Once I send the answers, you can correct it. Okay, so it's 9:20. So I think it's time to say goodbye. So if you want to join our classes, you can message me. You can message me or call me on WhatsApp. Here's the number. And yeah, so thank you very much for joining and see you next week. Okay, you're welcome and goodbye.